Greetings, I am Lord Revan, and this is my review of The Mandalorian, episode 15, The Believer. The episode opens up in a scrapyard where we see Migs Mayfield working in a New Republic prison, and he appears to be grinding up what is left of the Imperial remnants and their TIE fighters, when we see a security droid walk up to him. Now, if any of you remember in season 1, when they broke into the prison ship, in the episode where Migs Mayfield, also known as Bill Burr, was introduced, they were also using security droids.
We're too exposed here!
So, they are using droids. Back to the episode. After the security droid walks up, he is then ordered to salute Marshal Cara Dune in what can only be described as the easiest escape plan in all of galactic history. After he is ordered to go with Marshal Dune, he then says logically, where are you taking me? And the droid then responds, you have approximately 3 seconds to comply with your new directive. And he raises a baton, which then has a stun feature on it. He's like, okay, I'm going. And they head off, and then we see her, folks. We see Slave 1. And this is where we get to see Boba Fett in this episode. And I must say, he's looking better than he has done in years. Migs then says, I thought that you were this other guy for a second. And after that, we see Mando strutting down the ramp of Slave 1 like, sup bitches, here I am. Migs then cannot look at the Mandalorian in what I believe is shame.
Hey, Ando.
He then says, I thought that you were here to kill me. So he thought that the Mandalorian, after everything that conspired in season 1, was there to finish the job and kill him after all. But no. It turns out that the group actually wanted him because Mags used to be an Imperial, and he still remembers all the protocols and the access codes. And he is one of the best ways that the crew have to save baby Grogu. Although I must say, this group is one of the most badass groups to go and save baby Grogu that there is. Except, I think it would have only been made better with one addition. Ahsoka Tano. On Slave 1, they're talking about their mission and where they need to go. An interesting fact, if you watch the walls in the background of the scene, it's actually shown that the entirety of the inside of Slave 1 moves, so it goes to the upright position. This is actually an interesting fact that I had never thought of, because I had always thought that everything on Slave 1 was on its back, because I'm an idiot. They are then talking about what they need to do when they tell Mayfield that they need the location of Moff Gideon's cruiser. Mayfield then turns and laughs and says, yeah, no, put me back on the trash heap. I ain't doing that. Cara Dune then says to him, they have his kid. Now, I like this fact, because everybody's acknowledging that he is Grogu's father, his adoptive father. In this day and age of women first, of #MeToo, and the rise of this modern joke known as feminism, to see a genuinely good story that includes a positive portrayal of a father and son, it's a very rare thing indeed. And that is very, very sad to say. They are then talking about how they need to get to an Imperial terminal which Mayfield then says he believes that there is a terminal located in a secret Imperial mining refinery on Morak. Boba then proceeds to scan the planet and points out the Imperial refinery and says, "Is this what you're talking about?" Mayfield then says yes. That is when Fennec says, "I wonder what they're refining." And Boba replies, "It looks like rhydonium, an extraordinarily explosive compound." And then Mayfield says a joke that I know myself, I would say.
Rhydonium. Highly volatile and explosive.
Yeah, kind of like this one, huh?
Man, I felt that joke. On a side note, I would also like to apologise to all my friends for having such a cringy sense of humour. I will not try to work on it, and I will promise to make worse jokes in the future. Moving on. So, the refinery proceeds to be discovered. Boba then points out that there are anti-aircraft guns located around the refinery. Fennec also points out herself, she says, that there is a platoon of security forces, stormtroopers, located there as well. And that is when Mando steps up and says, "Well, we're going to have to go in quiet." Down in Morak, they proceed to check out a vehicle on wheels. Now, this had me confused for a while because I'm there and I'm thinking, wait, why is there a vehicle with wheels in a universe that has flying cars, flying everything? But then I was thinking and I said to myself, possibly. It's possibly because the fact that the ore inside of this truck is too unstable. We will have to see. So, they are planning on getting inside and out fast. Boba then says, "If you get to the roof, I will get you out." Kara suggests that her and Mayfield will both go down and that they will switch out with the pilots. But Mayfield points out that there's a major hitch in their plan. This base and all Imperial Remnant bases are run by ex-ISB officers. Now, if Kara, who's now a registered marshal, and she is also an ex-rebel fighter, if she shows up on any scans, she will immediately get found out and shot. Boba Fett, he's Boba Fett, so he can't go in because, as he quotes, "They will recognize my face." True. Also, Fennec can't go in because the ISB don't like her. So Mayfield's like, "Okay, I'm going to have to go down by myself." Mandalorian staring down and he says, "No, I will go with you." Mayfield's like, "Hey Mando, yeah, quick point. I cannot explain to the Imperials how there is a Mandalorian in a full set of Mandalorian armor in the seat beside me." The Mandalorian says, "Oh, I'm going, but I'm not going to show my face. So we will see what happens." So the gang sees this truck who's doing a check when all of a sudden Mando, Cara Dune, and Mayfield jump in. And that is when we get to see exactly how badass Cara Dune.
What the?
So, after the truck pulls in, that is when you see Mayfield getting changed into a stormtrooper armor, and he says, "God, this guy reeks," whilst putting on the armor. And then the Mandalorian walks out, just head to toe in stormtrooper armor. Cara Dune proceeds to tell him, "You know, I wish I could tell you that this looks good on you, but I can't." He hands her his Mandalorian gear and says to her, "Mind this." That's when Mayfield says, "Oh, look at this, the walk of shame. And how would they act when they saw this? over on Mandalore. When the Mandalorian gets into the truck, he turns around and he says to Cara, "Oh, I wish that you were coming. You've got such a sunny disposition, and I wonder how you would be in one of these," meaning the truck. Going along in the truck, there is a reference scene to Star Wars Rebels when Mayfield says, "Oh, I can't see in this thing. Rex."
Guess I don't have too much to worry about.
This helmet! I can't see!
That is when Mayfield begins to talk. He points out how if you're born, say, on Mandalore and Alderaan, that you've got one view on Mandalore and one view on Alderaan. Well, both of them are gone now. And if you're born somewhere else, you'll have a different perspective on life. And it's all depending on where you go, where you're born, things like that. He then says, "Nobody crosses the line until things get messy, and then their line goes away." A few minutes later, he's talking, and he points out something that the fans have been talking about for a while. Why can't the Mandalorian show his face? Is it either he can't show his face, or he can't take off his helmet? Well, Bill Burr, you say it better than I do.
You said you couldn't take your helmet off, and now you got a stormtrooper one on, so what's the rule? Is it that you can't take off your Mando helmet, or you can't? Because there is a difference.
After this, the truck proceeds to get attacked by pirates. Well, that's what they believe. But it's not, because they're not trying to steal the ore, they're trying to blow it up. These people who they perceive to be pirates are basically just people fighting for their homes, fighting for their mines and their right to exist. But because they're trying to kill the Mando, we view them as bad guys. Another point of view, I guess, because to them, right now, he is the bad guy. After the Mandalorian dispatches a few of these flying truck things, he is happy for the first time in his life to see two TIE fighters show up. After the truck arrives safely back in the refinery, everyone who is inside proceeds to cheer and welcome them as heroes because they are the first shipment of the day to actually arrive alive and safe. So, after a few minutes, Mayfield and Mando proceed to go over to the officers' mess because Mayfield says, I think that's where the terminal would be. As they go to walk in, Mayfield turns and walks down and says, "Nope, nope, 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 nope. I am not going in there." Mandalorian says, "Why are you not?" And it turns out that his old boss from his Imperial days is in there right now, sitting at the table, and he may recognize his face. So he says, "No, this whole plan is off. I'm not doing it." That is when the Mandalorian steps up and he says, "I will do it. Give me the data rod. I will get the information from the terminal." But the only problem is, you need your face to be scanned. The Mandalorian says, "That's not my problem. I will be fine. I won't show my face." And he walks in, and when it says you have 3 seconds before it shuts down, he does this.
10 seconds to system shutdown. 10.
After Mando removes his helmet, this is not, I repeat, this is not a split second scene. The Mando has it off for minutes, about 5 minutes in total. Even worse, the asshole commander across from him calls him over, starts questioning him, asking him what is your TK number. The Mandalorian don't answer. He's like, "Who are you? What is going on?" And then Bill Burr's character, Mayfield, steps in and he's like, "Oh, hey, this is my commanding officer. We're the guys who brought in the ore today." So, the two of them get invited over to the commander's seat for a drink. An asshole commander starts talking about the glory of the Empire their missions in the past. And he asks Mando, "Where are you from?" Bill Burr again, as Mayfield jumps in and says, "Why don't we drink to Operation Cinder?" And this is where Bill Burr pulls out some great acting, in my opinion. You can see the pain on this man's face when he's talking about the fact that there's 10,000 officers gone in a moment, along with a city, everyone in it, and those poor mudscuffers who, at the end of the day, were just trying to fight for their homes and their freedom. An asshole commander man turns around and is like, "Oh, they're eating themselves alive now because we outlasted them. We outlasted them. We survived, and that the galaxy just wants order. And when they realize this, they will welcome us back with open arms." And as he lifts his hand to salute, a drink to the Empire, Bill Burr raises his hand with his pistol and proceeds to blow a hole in his chest. He then looks over at Mando and goes, "What are you going to do?" And the two of them get into a fight with the entirety of this base and kill everyone there. He hands Mando back his helmet and states, "I didn't see your face, and that you did what you had to do." He then turns his head away, hands Mando back his helmet, he puts it on, and they continue on with their firefight. A few moments after their firefight inside, they're now on the ledge, where Cara Dune and Fennec are picking off the soldiers who are coming behind them. Boba Fett then descends from the sky and picks out the turrets. After this, they proceed to run and jump on the back of the slave one. Mayfield then asks Mandalorian to hand him a psycho rifle, and in one shot he blows up the rhydinium that is in one of the trucks, destroying the entire refinery. After this, I turned into a child. For a split second, I was back in the cinemas. It just. After that display of awesomeness, they go and they land in this grassy area, and they're talking to themselves, and they're like, it was a real shame that Mayfield died in that explosion in the refinery. Such a shame. Thus, letting him go. To me, that was a solid episode. There was one bit at the end, though, where the Mandalorian straight up threatened Moff Gideon, saying, "What you have, I'm coming for it, and I'm coming for you. What you have, he means more to me than you will ever know," giving off some serious pissed dad vibes. And guys, that's the end of my review. Thank you all for watching. Please like, subscribe, and hit that bell. There is so much more coming in the future, including collaborations with 2 other YouTube channels, Old Media Guy and NB Geeks. Thank you all again. Stay safe, stay well, and I will catch you next time. I'm Darth Revan, signing out.